Brian Jeppson Informative Speech, Bismarck State College, April 10th, 2015.
Did you get my good side?
Hello and welcome. According to Planet Natural, in a recent online article named History of Tomatoes, it states, quote, "Americans may be in love with tomatoes today, but the relationship got off to a rocky start. During colonial times, we wouldn't put a tomato near our mouths, let alone try to eat one. Folklore had it that if you ate a tomato, its poison would turn your blood into acid," unquote. The information I'll present today will help anyone grow an excellent crop of healthy, delicious, fresh tomatoes. I enjoy gardening and growing my own tomatoes, and that led me to choose this topic. We will be covering the basics about the various types of tomato plants, choosing the right type of plant, and pruning according to the type of plants chosen. First, I will begin with a brief description of the different types of plants. In a book titled The Vegetable Gardener's Bible, published in 2000, Edward Smith states, quote, "Determinate plants, better described as bushes than as vines, reach a certain size, flower, set fruit, and pretty much start growing," unquote. Also according to Ed, quote, "Indeterminate plants are true vines. They grow and set fruit continuously, resulting in a much larger plant with higher foliage to fruit ratio," unquote. What you need to remember and take from that is determinate plants grow like bushes and indeterminate plants grow like vines. Next, let's look at how to choose the right type of plant. According to Colin Vanderlinden, in a 2015 web article she wrote for About Home titled, "What is the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomatoes?" she states that, quote, "If you have a large garden and would like heavy crops of tomatoes at certain points in the season, you might want to plan for several determinate varieties," unquote. She also states, quote, "If you want to grow in containers, you'll probably want to stick with a few different determinate varieties," unquote. The determinate varieties I grow are generally cherry tomatoes and Roma tomatoes or grape tomatoes. Colleen later stated, quote, "If you want tomatoes for the course of the season for snacking and adding to salads and sandwiches, it is best to go with indeterminate varieties." Next, I will go over pruning basics for the two types of plants. Frank Ferrandio, in an article written in 2015 for 5 Gardening, noted, quote, "Due to the shortened growing season and better defined fruiting period, determinate plants require little pruning. The pruning I do on my determinate plants is just remove the branches below the lowest flowering stem. This allows you to plant the root ball deeper, and it also is better for drought tolerance. It'll grow roots off of any of the stem that's below ground." How to prune indeterminate plants. Love Apple Farms at growbetterveggies.com back in 2012, an article named How to Prune Tomato Plants suggests, quote, "You begin pruning your suckers once you have 6 to 8 main stems already established. The suckers grow up from the nodes between the branches and the main stem. If you leave 4 or 5 of these and then trim the rest, you'll have a nice sized plant. Once the main stems grow up to a certain height, the top of your cages or however high you want them, you need to trim the tops, and the plant will put its energy into growing tomatoes instead of just growing leaves." By applying the knowledge we've covered about the various types of tomato plants, how to choose between the different types of plants, and how to prune according to the type of plant chosen, anyone attempting to grow a juicy crop of fresh tomatoes should have better success. We can all rest assured, because it has been proven over time, that if we do eat a tomato, it won't contain poison that will turn our blood into acid.